Greetings, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to my latest video. I don't know if you saw my most recent one where I interviewed my latest guest that had stayed here for a month. His name's Matt. Because I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun to start doing little video clips with guests at the end of their stay so they can share their experience here. Because a lot of people that come here, or most people that come here, they come here with a purpose. They come here for just some sort of alone time for whatever reason. People come here for spiritual healing. They come here to meditate. They come here just to listen to the birds, to be one with nature for whatever reason. But usually it's a lot of it is based on self-reflection. So it's nice to hear from these people to see if there was any benefit to their time here. So I thought, and I've met so many amazing people in this past year. Or over since, whatever it's been. I've been here for 2.5 years, but since from the time that I've started doing the retreats here, just some of the guests that I've met are just some of the most incredible people I could ever imagine meeting, that are on these wonderful, fascinating journeys. They're on their own path of enlightenment and transformation, and it's really cool that I get to meet them while they're passing through. And I'm just sorry that I didn't think of doing these little video messages way early on. And well, the funny thing is, it probably would have been rather soap opera-ish if I did, because there was a few incidences where it wasn't the most ideal situation, but that kind of it shows you the candidness and the authenticity of, hey, we're only human, and there's been some ups and downs. There's been a lot of ups and downs. I mean, since coming here and trying to make this dream a reality. So anyhow, my point of this video is I thought, well, if I'm going to start doing that with people that pass through, and there's been quite a few that have found their experience here to be quite cathartic, then I thought, well, I should share my own, because I've had an incredible spiritual awakening in the time that I've been here, and it was completely unexpected, and not at all where I imagined. It's just not even where I thought the direction I would go in. I did feel myself. When coming here, I did feel myself wanting to kind of go back to more of a grassroots type of a way of living, and I did, I was feeling that. I was feeling the pull to that. And that was something that I was more into, more than 20 years ago. And nothing really came of it. I was kind of in a lost world because I couldn't really relate to people so much back then. Weird artist, kind of sad in that world over there, the material world. And then I became part of the material world, and then realized it didn't fulfill me with the happiness that I wanted. And that story, if you've seen the past videos, why I ended up leaving everything and coming here to Belize and starting this. So I want to share with you guys, since I'm going to be doing it with guests as well, my cathartic journey here in the time that I've been here. So my journey involves not only a spiritual awakening, but it also involves UFO sightings, to be quite frank. And I'm hoping that this, talking about this openly like this, because I've blogged about it, but that was before most of the stuff even happened. That was when the initial stuff that was, crazy enough happened, and then more crazier stuff happened. But I haven't done, I haven't actually, done like a video commentary, I guess, or whatever about it. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about that as well, because it all ties in together. So when I had moved here, I realized early on that this place had a very intense energy to it. I could feel it, and I could feel it respond to the energy of others that come in here. It either loved you or hated you. And I remember thinking, when I first moved here, like, oh my God, my house, it's like this house possessed. I don't know if you remember that old movie from the 70s. But I didn't feel like it was possessed. It didn't feel, evil to me. I always felt, from the second I walked in here, I felt like the house was hugging me. I felt like this was just home right away, immediately. This was home. And this wasn't even what I had set out for, looking for when I came here, when I was planning to come here. But immediately this was it. And I felt safe right away from day one, still do. I feel very comfortable. I love it here. Not in a naive way. I mean, I'm cautious. I'm not an idiot. But I mean, I feel very at home. Like this was waiting for me. So I never had that fear with it, but I could tell that it was responding to the energy that came into it. So anybody that came here that was too frantic or too negative or too just where I'm like, no, that's not what I want to be around. This place pushed them away. And at first I thought it was a house. And then after, like over time, I realized it's not really just the house, it's this area. I don't know if it's the whole area, but or if there's just this patch of land that I live on or what it is, but it's here. And it's a total energy vortex and it's intense and it's really cool. But it's almost like you have to be careful because, well, you do have to be careful because manifestations come to life here very quickly. Faster than you anticipate, faster than you plan, faster than you expect, or faster than you even realize you want. So you really, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's intense. So anyhow, so really right off the bat, I started to notice that, and this is just like feelings that you get, and these aren't things that I'm really in tune with as far as feelings when it comes to like sensing that kind of stuff. I get, I always, say trust your intuition, I trust my gut, and I, get sensations about certain things, but this is becoming stronger. And I don't know if it's because living here, there's no barriers. Well, actually I do believe because living here as well contributes to the fact that there's no barriers. I'm just here amongst the trees. I'm here in nature. I don't have the energy of other people influencing my everyday life. I mean, I do when I have retreats going and stuff, and if it's too many people around and it's people that come with a whole lot, when they're ready to release it, it's great. Everything comes out, but man, I absorb a lot of that. Like I'm really sensitive to all that everyone brings. So I have to keep retreats to a small amount of people. So this whole creating this vegan village, creating this vegan neighborhood, the idea is to have, a lot of really positive, like-minded vegans that are open, that are spiritual, that are ready to heal, because everybody has some healing to do. Like, I mean, let's be realistic. It's not like it's going to be everybody that's going to be all like, puppy dogs, rainbows, and roses. When they come here, the reality is we are all dealing with a major transitional time in our lives. Everybody. I mean, this planet is in total disarray. And at the same time, we're having an awakening and it's like, whoa, what's going on? We're spinning. So, the idea is that people come here, all sorts of artists, all vegan artists from, I don't know, I can't speak, musicians, dancers, yoga teachers, chefs, like healers, just, that here living in this neighborhood under one vegan umbrella, like just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We're all helping each other. Everyone's healing together, people that are ready for that. But when people aren't ready for that and they expose themselves or, come into a place like this where you're just surrounded by trees, the jungle can quickly become walls. And, it will just reflect what you come in with. So it magnifies, it gets worse, and it affects me. And the whole area and everybody's quality of time here. So that I definitely picked up on. So let me skip ahead to my spiritual awakening here. Aside from these realizations and understanding that, wow, there really is this intense connection here to this area, which has, complete, ancient Mayan ties to it. So I'm sure that really contributes to the magnitude of the energy here that is felt. So then shortly after I moved here, I was here alone and I had my first UFO sighting. I confidently call it that because I know wholeheartedly these were not spotlights. These were almond-shaped light sources in the clouds that were playing in the clouds, that were chasing each other, that were coming around close to the house and then back into one, and then one would come out and then spin. And it was this weird sensation, but I felt like, and I didn't feel like this right away, but I feel like I processed this the next day where I felt like, I think that was a greeting. And I remember being freaked out at first, and then it went on for hours, and I even messaged my brother to say, this is going on, like I don't know what's happening, and he was just like, just try to get it on camera, and it wouldn't capture on camera. I remember that. And then it went on for so long, and I don't remember how it ended. I just remember it just wasn't anymore, and then I remember the next day waking up and thinking, really feeling like, I feel like that was a greeting. And I don't know, it felt special. And then when I tried to tell people about it, they would all talk about the spotlights in Chetamel. And then I was like, these weren't spotlights. So, and I maintained that, but then I just stopped talking about it because nobody cared and nobody listened. So Then it was just, something that faded out because I didn't see it again. And then fast forward 2 years later, I started talking about it again. And it was during a Halloween retreat that I was having here with some amazing, amazing, beautiful, wonderful goddesses that really helped me bring things out. And I remember talking about it with them. And it kind of like opened this door because I suddenly was like, I know what I saw. And I don't know why I never saw it again. And then at some point during that time, I went outside and on the terrace where I had originally seen it, and in the same direction, I was asking the sky, where did you go? Why didn't you come back? And in that moment, very close above me, an orb went by. And it came down really close as it passed really slowly. And I watched it, and it came down really close. And of course, I just assume it's satellite. And I'm like, because I don't really know how they move. And then, since then, I've learned more. But, and then it came down closer, and it's like it paused. And it's like we just stared at each other, but it didn't do anything. It was like just this contained ball of light, just this orb, no spotlight, no beam or anything, and then it just continued. And then I don't know why I immediately thought my mom. But I felt this flutter, like I knew who that was. I don't know, it was strange, and then that felt special. So I felt myself having an experience again. So then after that, the next time, and I shared this with the group that was here, and then the next time after that, we had started doing cacao ceremonies at that point, and I had started eating a lot of fermented cacao, and I started meditating a lot more, and I started getting a little deeper with my meditation, and I know that helped open a gateway for me, because it was after that I remember it was November 16th. I was up here with Annette, and we were having a little cacao ceremony because I believe it was the end of Mercury retrograde and the beginning of something else. I can't remember. I'm not that bright. My memory, well, I can't remember. So we were just chatting, and then stuff was catching my eye in the sky, and it was the same thing that was going on 2 years prior to this. And then I pointed it out to her, and so then we stood there and we both watched this happening, and they were doing crazy things. It was like Jetsons in the clouds, like these things. There was this light disc. It was like this disc like this, and it looked like a disc of light in the cloud, and it just kind of did this. It just appeared. There was already one that was moving around, and then this other one just appeared, and I was like, do you see that? Do you see that? And as soon as Annette said, yeah, I see it, it was like it got scared. It knew we saw it, see it, or whatever, and then I can't even do it as fast as it did it, because it was literally like the speed of light went, pew, pew, like as fast as you could possibly imagine. Like imagine like the Jetsons little space carts doing that. And then we both screamed, and we looked at the hairs on our arms, and we're like, what was that? And then she ended up, this went on for a long time. And then I'll tell you, it gets boring after a while. And then I remember even trying to record it, and it was like nothing showing up. So I just gave up. And then she went home because it got so monotonous. I was like, okay, and then nothing's happening. They're just playing in the clouds, but it was really cool to see. But, eventually you got to stop looking. So then she went home, but I was still fascinated, and I was still watching. And after she went home, this weird thing started happening, and I could feel it. And I'm just staring at the sky as these lights are going, and it was like they were introducing an egg-shaped saucer with like there was a saucer and then this egg-shaped in the middle, and it just appeared in the sky. But before I could see it appear, it started flashing really bright red, like it was like this red like strobe light, but it was really big, and then it got smaller but flashing like a strobe, and then all of it like a sparkler all over, and then it was red and white like a sparkler, and it just came out of like a portal in the sky or whatever it is, like a slit in the sky, and appeared with all these lights, and the lights dimmed, and then I can kind of see the shape, and I could see that it was like that gunmetal silvery color, and then it just came down really slowly with all these lights going, and I was just like, what am I looking at? This is insane. So I just watched this go down, and then it disappeared behind the trees, and I guess, just down towards the earth, and then, the light show continued, and I was just in disbelief, and then I told Annette about it. I can't even remember if I told her that night, the next morning. I don't even remember what happened after that. But I told her about it. The next night, I see the spotlights happening again, so I holler over to her. She's at her treehouse, and then she comes on over, and we're watching this, and then I know it was precisely around the same time the night before, and which I believe was around 6:43 p.m., and 43 seems to be a really significant number. 43 minutes past the hour seems to be when significant things happen. She was over, and then she witnessed it. So it was the same egg-shaped saucer, same time of night, same slit out of the sky, same lights going down towards the earth, and we could hear a frequency. We were like, do you hear that? And it was just like, what is happening? So this is incidents like that had started to repeat themselves. And then it seemed like nobody really wanted to hear this. Called a neighbor, even while things were happening, these lights were going on. They weren't even interested in coming to see it. And they were just like, oh, take photos. And I'm like, we can't. And yeah, so lots of stuff happened. Like I'm talking, I went out there, I dragged a net after chasing UFOs, which led us to a cane field because I kept seeing them. I kept seeing them landing in the sky, like going down, and I would see these weird planes with a dome on them. Like this happened, other nights, way like past this point, and I'm seeing them land. And this is when I'm by myself, and I'm like, what's going on? So finally I said, what, the next time I see this, you got to come out with me because they're going, I don't know where they're landing back there, but there's nothing. So we took a drive. And as soon as because I was seeing spotlights, and when I would see these spotlights back there, which everyone's like, Chattabel spotlights, but I was like, something's going on. There's a spotlight there, and then there's stuff landing. So I was like, listen, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but you gotta come out with me the next time I see this because something's up. So we went, I saw them, I hollered over to her. We went, I think it was like around 7 at night, hopped in my truck, drove all the way down Consejo Shores, because we saw the spotlight, but then it disappeared. Nothing. And so we came driving back, and we made it all the way back to our road. And I was like, I'm not satisfied with this. There's stuff going on. Like, where are they landing? So then we started to drive back. And as we drove back, what I didn't realize at the time was, we made it to this cane field that's about 2 miles away from here. And where the cane field was, it looked like the spotlight was coming out of there, like way in there. And I was like, look, there it is. And as I said that, I turned, looked at her, and just as I turned back, what I believe was triangle shaped. I feel like it was triangle shaped because I saw it afterwards, other nights, but a triangle shaped craft appeared out of nowhere over the cane field with a massive orb, a massive ball of contained light that looked like it was aimed at us. And then I could see a row of windows, and I could see movement in it. And it was like just hovering over the field, staying still, but at the same time, like moving. So I was like, what shape is that? And I said to her, look, there it is. And she said, oh, that's a light tower. That's not moving. And I'm like, it's not moving because it's hovering. So I hopped out of the truck. She hopped out of the truck. I was like, get your phone to take photos. But she had it in her hand, and you're too stunned to even do anything. And she's like, is it a tower? And then we're looking at it, and it dims the orb. So it's this big orb on the nose of it, dims it to the small one, and then these lights start twinkling underneath it, or orbs. I don't know what they were. And then it's just like hovering like this, but kind of staggering. And then it just turns a bit and then starts drifting over, and we're watching it disappear behind the trees. And I'm like, literally, my thought was, you're leaving? Like, I'm right here. Oh, I've been waiting for this moment. I came here looking for you. Like, at least, say hi, tell us what's up. So then, so that was one of our major ones. And then 2 nights later, I know it was the same triangle. Came to my house, and I could hear it. It sounded like a single engine Cessna. And I wasn't paying attention. I was on my laptop, and it was going on for a while. And afterwards I thought, man, I feel like that was going on for a long while until finally an orb caught my eye coming into the screen of my house in the back, and I was like, oh my God, they're here. And I ran out on my terrace, and I see them, and it's the same shape. I could see the same black triangular shape with this big orb aimed at me, and then it dimmed it. It was like it just wanted to let me know I know where you live, or I'm saying hi. I don't know. And then did the same thing, just kind of turned slightly, started flickering all these lights under it, but this time the lights were only white, whereas when it was over the cane field, it was red and white, or red and gold, whatever the color was. I think it was white. And then it just turned slightly, continued on, and then disappeared through a slit in the sky. And I was like, you know what, this is, yeah. I wrote to a UFO group. They actually ended up coming out here documenting some stuff, but no crafts came out the week that they were here. So anyhow, I really jumped ahead of the story. So I really wanted to, I wanted to touch on the spiritual journey that led to this. So, basically, I've been seeing these crafts since, November 16th. This has been ongoing. So I won't even get into all the details of all the other sightings that I've had. So, but I will backtrack to the spiritual awakening that I had that led to this before nightfall, because it's dusk now. When I started to get deeper into meditation, I feel like I really, really opened up a gateway to something, because I started to, what I really felt helped was I started to eat more and more fermented cacao beans. And I really felt that really just helped raise my vibration. It helped just to raise my spirits, raise my clarity. Obviously vegan, clean diet, that all helps. And I just really felt my third eye my pineal gland being decalcified through this method and through deepening my meditation skills by frequently meditating. And I really started to enjoy it. And then there was this one time where I had my most profound awakening, and I think this is how it happens for most people. I was sitting there in a meditation on my back deck, and I opened my eyes during the meditation. I just felt compelled to open my eyes, and I looked out, and all the trees just looked like they were in Technicolor green. It was the most vibrant, intense shade of green I'd ever seen, and they just looked so alive. Like, I don't mean alive like how, plants are living, but I mean alive. Like, I could communicate and see their souls. I could see past the big coconut palms that were in front of me, that were all arms out, like they were all holding palms, in a beautiful tree circle around my house, around me, like all these beautiful trees just around me, coconut palms, like making a circle around me, a circle of protection, safety, love. Just, it was incredible. I can't even describe it when I opened my eyes, but it wasn't trees. They are souls. I saw their souls. I saw the essence of these trees. And it was such a beautiful moment because I could feel their hugs and I could see, and I know it's like, well, the wind, sure, but each one, I saw them, they waved their fan palm at me, and it was, I've got different coconut, like, there's thatch palms out there, there's coconut palms, and it was just like, each one, it was like all of a sudden, each one did a wave, and then the thatch palm, and I felt it, and it was like this greeting, this, you've arrived, kind of sensation, and I felt this unmistakable oneness with the universe, like, they were souls that were just extensions of me. They were souls that were extensions of me. There is no separation between us. This space is not actually space. This is filled with energy. We are all connected. We are all one. There is no emptiness. Emptiness is filled with space. Emptiness is filled with energy. It's got a constant current flowing everywhere between all of us. We are all connected. We are one. We are an extension of each other. Once we connect with our higher selves, this is how we connect with source. This is where we connect with source. This is who we are. And these are the realizations that I've had. I'm like, I put myself here. I chose this path. I'm creating my destiny. I'm doing this because I need to learn what I'm learning. I need to go through the challenges that I'm going through in order to learn this. I need to be here to heal, and I need to be here to help others heal. I need to be here to create a vegan world. I need to be here to do exactly what I'm here doing. And I couldn't be more certain about that. And these are the realizations that I'm having, along with direct messages that I'm receiving, which is a whole other video that I will get into as well. I have so much to say. I don't know why I didn't start doing this before, but now I feel like it's time, and I want to share so many of my encounters, of my stories, of these experiences with you. So yeah, I had an incredible cathartic spiritual awakening here. Just the realization that we are so much deeper than being skin deep, man. We are way beyond this. This is our human experience. This is our ego having to play out and figuring out our balance between our spirituality and our ego, and just living that balanced life. That's the most righteous way, the most beautiful way that I could just imagine living. So I'm definitely enjoying the process. Thanks for tuning in.